Okay, so here's the latest project to hit the bench. This is an oddball cuber. I mean, I don't have a ton of experience with these things, but this is not like the little Hobarts that I'm used to seeing. I've already took some parts off of it. It's got like a stainless insert. The strippers and knives are in like really good shape on this unit. I mean, nothing is bent. So I don't know if this thing, just saw very light use or what, but the internals on it are way funkier than I'm used to seeing. It appears, so, these are the drivers, and, this one turns this way, this one turns this way, so it pulls the meat down in the center. It appears that the nuts on this side push in. I guess they're tight now. They won't move at all, but it looks like those have to slide in to engage the rollers. So everything's really dry, and everything's moving though. I mean, you could see I rolled it over. This is where the belts were sitting on the motor. I mean, they've got that lump in them just from sitting so long. I would hate to guess how long this thing has sat. But, I mean, it looks like it's all there, and it actually doesn't look like it's in bad shape. It's just dry, Somebody didn't lube it up when they stored it for the last 60 years. Some kind of, I don't know, I mean, I can read some of this stuff here. The little stamp there, motors, a 3rd horsepower, AC, 115 volts. Phase 1. It says something about, there's a model and serial number that are stamped there. Something about US. Something starts with SL. Machine company in somewhere in Indiana. LaPont, Indiana or something like that. Never heard of that. So here we go. It appears I plugged it in. I mean, the motor wants to run. It wants to roll everything over, so it just needs cleaned up. So appears like everything's here. See what this thing takes to get it going again. Okay, so I just want to take a second to talk about the tool. While I'm working on this this cuber here, it's been sitting around. It hasn't been oiled up, and all this stuff is rusty and tight. So I'm spraying penetrating lubricant on some of the bolts. Some of it's coming right out. But this tool is the one I want to talk about. This is an impact driver. This is an impact screwdriver. They come with different bits and stuff. They don't come with that extension. Normally they just come like it's a 3/8 drive, and you hit this thing with a hammer. I mean, this end gets kind of mushroomed. On older ones you'll see this one here is just a little mushroom. These, man, I picked this up off years ago. They used to come around with a semi-truck and have these semi-truck sales at, parking lots and stuff like that. That's where I bought this. There was an old farmer that I know, he's passed away, but he had the only other one I've ever held in my hands before. It worked great. It was a little bit nicer than this. It was a little smaller than this, but man, that thing could take a beating. And, we used his. They come in real handy for carburetor bowls. When I used to work on a lot of 4-wheelers, the bowl screws on them old Hondas seemed like you'd strip those little Phillips screws out. And this tool, it seems like it's overkill, but man, you flip a carburetor upside down, and it comes with a number 2 Phillips head, and it comes with like a number 3 Phillips head. But you put that little number 2 Phillips head in them screws and whack that thing one good time with a hammer. I mean, you hold it like that, set it where you want it and hit it with a hammer, and you turn this ring and you can either loosen or tighten depending on how you turn the ring. You can feel the mechanism in there working when you do that. But that tool right there comes in real handy. Now, I've been trying, see there's a screw way back up in here, that screw head there. There was one on this side too. I've already gotten it out, but I couldn't hardly reach it with just a screwdriver, so I took just my Craftsman 3/8 ratchet, it's right out of my ratchet kit, just an extension. I'm sure it's not made to be beat with a hammer and everything, but because this has got that 3/8 drive, you can just put that extension on there, reach back up in there and whack that thing. Normally 1 or 2 good whacks, and I'm telling you, it will save you from stripping out so many screws. Find one of these things. I don't know if Harbor Freight sells them, or probably, I would think you could get them Snap-on and stuff like that, but it's probably going to cost you an arm and a leg. You'll almost never use it, but when you do, that thing will save your butt. That is the tool to get. It's some kind of impact screwdriver or impact driver, I don't know what you call it, but I'm telling you, you whack that thing with a hammer and you've got the force to push it into the screw at the same time that it's turning, and that thing will save you a lot of heartache. Okay, so here's an update. Pretty well tore it down as far as it's going to get, other than the sheet metal here. I'll clean that up and take the lid off of that, take it apart when I sand it all up, get it ready for paint. But I got all the other pieces off. All the little bits are, you know, laying here and there. Tore into this thing. Right now I've just got that, we call that a flywheel. I've just got that held on with a couple of bolts. Tore into the gears on this thing. Down in there it's kind of hard to see, but there's 4 gears. Got them all lubed up, freed up. They were pretty sticky, and I think that was the biggest problem with it. Oiled up the motor. Doesn't look like much, but the motor spins really nice. This flywheel now, I mean, it doesn't take much to get it spinning. You know, I mean, like one finger, and there are no, like, there's really no sticky spots or anything on it. So it's ready to go. I mean, it's working. So I stuck a belt on it before. If I can do this one-handed, just stick a belt on here. Just one. It'll have 2, but give you a demonstration. I got the switch on, so there it goes. Takes right off. So now I just got to get it, get all this nastiness cleaned up and get it ready for paint. So the mechanics of it, pretty, I think it'll be pretty good. So that was the worst of it, I hope. So this is a video to illustrate the condition of the gears, the teeth on the gears on this this cuber. I put it back together, you know, slightly. I put that little flywheel on there. And there is a noise. I thought it was coming from the belt at first, but there's a noise to the gears. There's just a little sticky spot right here. I mean, just barely. When you got that big flywheel on there, it doesn't take any pressure at all. But I mean, and I'm turning this with 2 fingers, so you know, I'm really nitpicking this, but there's a sticky spot right there, and I can't for the life of me figure. There's just a little dimple on one tooth back there. That might be because it gets right there, and it's just a little, and I think that's the noise. But I mean, overall, and I've been kind of scratching on it with a screwdriver to see if, you know, there's dirt down in there or something. But you know, overall, you can see the condition of the teeth. None of the teeth are chipped or anything. It's kind of hard to try to get a profile shot there for you. But there's just like, there's a dimple on the one tooth on this gear. Where is it when it comes around here? That's the only thing I can figure. Because it's turning pretty good right there. That's just to back it up. Man, it's so hard. I mean, it's just, I'm nitpicking it so much that it's kind of hard to tell. But anyhow, so this is just to illustrate the condition of the gears. You know, they're actually in really good shape. You know, no, like I said, no chips, no big gouges or nothing. Everything meshes real nice. Just, you know, that one little imperfection there, and I think that's, it kind of makes a noise, and I don't know if it kind of exaggerates itself with that noise, but really do pretty good. Okay, so here's a quick update. I got the internals of the cuber cleaned up and ready for paint, and I'm going to be painting. Originally it was like a gray color. I'm going to go ahead and shoot it black, you know, because looking up in there you ain't going to see nothing anyhow. So Rust-Oleum satin black 7777. That's leftover paint from the Humvee. So when I sold my Humvee, that was paint that I had used when I painted it all. last year, so that's left over, and that's what we're going to use here. So this is going to be a Humvee paint cuber. Okay, so here's an update. I got everything torn apart, cleaned up, sanded as good as it's going to get, sanded and wire brushed it, masked off what I don't want color on, and last night I went ahead and painted the frame and the motor and everything black, and now I'm going to paint the rest of it with this stuff here. This is good stuff. This Rust-Oleum appliance stuff. It makes a real hard, slick enamel finish, which is perfect for, you know, something like this, a cuber, you know, something you're going to get bloody, you're going to want to wipe up, clean up real good. So that's the paint I'm going to use. I've used it before on cubers and it works excellent. So here we go. Okay, so everything's white. Let it dry overnight. Hopefully get it put back together tomorrow night. Well, here it is, all put back together, all cleaned up. Come together pretty good, actually. I've worked on Hobarts before. This is definitely not a Hobart. This thing is altogether different. It looks similar on the interior, you know, the internal workings here with the rollers. You know, essentially the rollers look very similar, but the strippers, the whole setup is different. This one here is in actually pretty good shape. I got in there, got all the gears loosened up. You know, drive line is all good. Put a couple new belts on it. That to me seems like overkill, but that's what it had, so that's what I'm going to do again. So 2 brand new V-belts on there. I don't think I found a single knife or a single blade that was bent at all. And these strippers, every one of them is in like pristine condition. This thing, I'm guessing, did not see much use at all. But I'll give you a little demonstration here. Just reach over and flip the switch. It runs real quiet. You can see the strippers there ticking just a little bit. You know, that's nothing. These things, I've seen them, you know, some of the bad ones that I've seen run, even with guys using them, they're like grinding, you know, the whole time it's just grinding those strippers away. And as you look down through there, you see the knives aren't in contact with each other. You know, they're running a little bit of gap between everything. That's exactly what you want. Strippers all look great. The drive is not rubbing on anything. You know, belts aren't rubbing. It's ready to go, man. This actually cleaned up a little better than I expected it to. This thing is, this will make somebody a really, really nice cuber. So, that's it.